I got a hot take for y'all. TV shows, movies, overrated. I'm gonna tell y'all what. Cut the screen time, get into a book. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. If you don't know me, my name is Coop, and I'm gonna tell you why I think those are overrated, like TV shows and movies. First and foremost, this isn't to say that I hate TV shows and movies. I'll sit down and watch a TV show every now and again. I don't really find myself doing that and wanting to do that very much anymore. I feel like I've kind of grown away from that. But the biggest thing is I've started to fall in love with reading. And I was not a big reader growing up. Like, I hated reading. If we had, in all the English classes, you get assigned these books to read, so you can do these little reports and write papers on it and have discussions in class. That was not my thing. I hated reading. I hated writing too. Anything to do with English. Crazy enough, anything to do with English, I was just like, I'll speak it, but I don't want to write it, I don't want to read. So it was really easy for me to sit down and watch a TV show, sit down and watch a movie, right? Like, I loved movies as a kid. I loved TV shows too. The TV shows that I watched as a kid were always, anything that I watched as a kid was funny. Watched a lot of Family Guy, American Dad, Futurama, movies that I remember watching as a kid. And this is kind of crazy to say, but the movies I remember watching were movies like How High and The 40-Year-Old Virgin, and Step Brothers and Pineapple Express, like stuff like that. Like, I could really sit down and watch these comedies all day, bro. If it was anything to make me laugh, I was there. But as I've gotten older and I've wanted to kind of explore and do some other things, reading definitely popped up. I was like, I want to try this reading thing again. And for the first book that I completed reading was How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And I really, really liked that book, especially because it was insightful, and I just got my first sales job, and I really wanted to learn how to connect better with people. And not that I had an issue with it, but how to connect with people more efficiently, and how to establish rapport, right? People buy people they like, so I'm out to make people like me. And then that kind of turned into the next book that I read, Psychology of Money, and then Who Moved My Cheese. Like, I've read these little snippets of books. They're not massive books by any means, but I'm like, okay, I can do these self-improvement books. Self-improvement books are cool. And then I remember trying to read my first novel. I'm reading it, and I was reading it expecting to gain something, to gain some insight or learn something new. So after a while, I got tired of reading it. I'm like, bro, I don't want to read this anymore, which was kind of bogus to just like give up on the book. But I recently took a trip to Portland. And Portland has a bookstore called Powell's City of Books. And it's a city, bro. This bookstore's massive. Like, there's like 8 or 9 different rooms, and each room is categorized by a certain type of book. Crazy. But I went there and I picked up this book. I picked up this book. It's called Trouble Finds You, right? It's a novel, it's a fiction piece. It's about a kid, he's college age-ish, or he was at a party and some stuff went down, and now he's trying to figure out how to go about handling the situation, more or less. And I think it really hits home for me because he moves back home, and home for him is a city that's like an hour and 45 minutes from me, which is kind of crazy. And I mean, it's fiction, but I think it touched me because I'm like, oh damn, he was just not too far away from here. This is the first novel that I've picked up where I'm like, yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it. Like, I want to read, right? It's like watching a movie, but you're not watching anything. You have to conceptualize and picture everything for yourself. Authors typically do a really good job of that with descriptive words and really writing in a way to paint a picture for you in your mind as you read. In the book, something happened with his ankle. A dog bit him or something. Like, there's an injury at his ankle that has cuts. And he's like, I always poured alcohol all over it, whatever. And then he woke up the next morning, and the author roughly described it as, it was like oozing pus and this and that. And I got a good amount like, 1, gross. 2, you can picture seeing that like and being like, oh shit, this looks terrible, but he doesn't want to go to the ER. This really has me, I don't know what it is about this book specifically, but it just has me wanting to read. And wanting to read is getting me away from screens. We spend so much time on screens nowadays, like on our phones and computers and TVs. Like, no, cut the screen time, get into a book. Right now I'm reading this one's called Trouble Finds You. I'm reading Tough by Terry Crews. If you don't know who Terry Crews is, I hope you've seen White Chicks. If you haven't seen White Chicks, maybe this isn't the channel for you. Not even gonna lie. But no, Terry Crews is, he's ex-NFL player, big time actor. I'm reading his book called Tough, and then I'm reading The Art of Productivity by Ali Abdaal. Ali Abdaal he's a YouTuber, talks about all about productivity, as the book says in the title, Feel Good Productivity. I'm reading all three of those books right now at the same time, and it's been really, really good for me, actually. Another thing with reading, I think, that really helped change my mind is watching a video by Ali Abdaal, and he was talking about reading and all of that, and not trying to be so tied down to one book. And when I first was trying to get into reading, that was the premonition that I had, that I could only read one book at a time. It reminds me of when I was a kid, 3 or 4 bags of cereal in the pantry at one time. My mom would only allow us to have one bag open at a time. Like, no, you don't open 2 and 3 bags of cereal, have them open at the same time. And the idea was to prevent the other cereals from going stale, so that she doesn't have to buy more cereal, etc. But I took that same kind of mindset to reading. I'm like, oh, I don't want to forget what I read, so I want to stay in the same book and this and that. And either way, I still have to take a small refresher, go back a page or so, just remember where I left off. But changing from the one book to multiple books at one time has really allowed me to just enjoy reading. I don't want to read Trouble Finds You right now. Let me go grab Tough in the car, because Terry Crews's book is in my car. This book stays here at the house. The Art of Productivity stays at work. So if I have 10, 15 minutes at work, it's slow, we're not doing anything, I'll open my book and I'll sit and read. All of that said, the act of reading has gotten me away from screens. It's gotten me away from wanting to watch TV shows and movies. Like, I don't find myself wanting to sit down and watch something. If I sit down and I watch something, it's typically an anime, because I love me some anime. And I recently started Full Metal Alchemist. Fire anime, by the way. I'd rather sit and read. Everything goes quiet. It's just you and your book, and you're able to sit and kind of lock in and just dive deep and have everything else disappear for a little bit, but in a different way. That happens also when you're watching a movie. A really good movie has you locked in the entire time, right? And this Trouble Finds You book, I was reading one morning. This was Monday, so this was yesterday. I sat down and I started reading, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna read for about 10 minutes, and then I get up and I start getting ready to go. And I had to leave, and I laid back and I started reading, 5 or 6 pages, and then I'll be all right. 20 minutes later, I'm like, oh, this will be a good place to stop. I put my bookmark in, I turn around. It had been 20 minutes. I'm like, oh, well, shit. I wasn't like pressed to leave, but I don't remember what I wanted to get done. I wanted to do a small little something before I left, but I was like, fuck it. I enjoyed my time reading, so I would just set my book down, get a move on, and go about my day. If you've been on the fence about reading, I suggest you try it. I believe that there's a book out there for everybody. Because if you want to learn about something, if you want to know about something, you're curious about anything, there's a book about it, I promise. I take the same kind of idea and mindset to being on YouTube, because I watch a lot of YouTube videos. If you can think it's on YouTube, I promise. You can think it's on YouTube. And with anime also, there's an anime for everybody. It just depends on what you like. You have to find what you like. And I think that's kind of the hard thing with this, is finding what you like to read. If you pick up a book that everybody says is good, oh yeah, you should read this. I can recommend Atomic Habits to you, and you order it up and you read it, and you're like, oh, I can't sit and read this. I'm just not interested. And then you may have the premonition that like, reading is just garbage. No, I'd rather just sit and watch a video about it. But no, maybe that book just isn't for you. Just like you have movies that you like to watch, you have TV shows that you like to watch. There's a movie, there's a TV show that's out there for everybody. It's the same way with books. I highly, highly, highly suggest you find a book that you like to read. Because again, this book is right here, and I'm already this far into it. About a third, almost halfway in this thing. I got it, 2 weeks ago with spring break. So I got this book 2 weeks ago tomorrow. 2 weeks ago tomorrow, and I'm almost halfway through this book. And I bought this and Tough by Terry Crews. I bought those books at the same time. And Tough by Terry Crews, I know I'm 4 chapters in. His book is a longer one. And then Ollie's book, I'm about a third of the way through too. So again, I highly suggest you find a book that you like to read. There are websites that will help you find what you like to read. I remember there's a website where I didn't know what my next book was gonna be. So I looked up books similar to, I think it was like Atomic Habits and whatever other book that I read. and the website pops up. Oh, if you've read these books, like you put in the books that you've read, and if the books that you've liked, that you've read, of course, put in those books, and then it'll spit out however many recommendations related or kind of similar to what you read, and then you can look on the reviews and this and that, and look into what the book is about, and pick your next book. Reading started to be fun, and I didn't think I was gonna be one of these people where I'm like, I sit down, I want to read a book, but here I am. I'm gonna tell y'all, go read. But no, man. Again, the biggest thing with my channel is just wanting to share my experiences and hope that it touches somebody and allows them to try something new. And here I am, suggesting you to read. And again, I just keep laughing because I didn't think that I was gonna be a reader. Had you asked me 2 or 3 years ago would I be a reader, I would have been like, no, let's sit down and watch anime, or just sit down and I'll watch a summary video of the book on YouTube. But here I am. Hope y'all take something from this video. Please go get your first book. If you're looking for any book recommendations, please leave a comment, let me know, and I'll shoot you a message and send y'all some of my favorite books. I'll also have a couple of books that I've read down in the description, just the Amazon links, or affiliate links, so I don't make any money from it. And I'm just leaving those there in case you're curious and you want to look into some books to read. Last thing, I just thought about this. The last thing about books, you don't have to buy them. My first couple of books, I actually went and checked out from like City Library. I just went in. You can get a library card typically for free in most places. You just go fill out a sheet and they put you in to get your library card. And then you ask the librarian, hey, is Atomic Habits by James Clear here? She looks it up. It's in aisle A123.2. You go find it, you go grab the book, you take it to the library, you check it out, you can have it for however long she says. You read the book, you take it back, you check out another one. So you don't have to buy books. I buy my books, I bought this. Every book that I have, every book that I've read, besides my first one, besides I Want Friends and Influence People, I checked that out from the library, then I eventually bought it because I wanted to reread it. I bought my books because I really like the idea of being able to go back and read it again. After I finish this, maybe 2 or 3 years, I'll look at it like, I want to read that again. And a lot of times, just like with movies, when you go back through, you read it again, or you watch a movie, you watch it again, you'll find something new. Every time I watch Step Brothers, I can't tell you how many times I've watched it, but every time I watch Step Brothers, I find something new to laugh at. The movie is so comical, but you just find new stuff to laugh at. You know what to expect, but you can find little pockets of stuff, new pockets of stuff to be like, oh, I didn't notice that before. It's the same way with books. So go get your first book. If you haven't already, go get your first book. Check it out from the library. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you think. And also, again, if you need any recommendations, leave a comment, shoot me a message, let me know, and I'll shoot a couple of recommendations your way. Until next time, peace.